Good afternoon and evening, everyone. I am Coach Jan, and this is Justice for Hire's Tai Chi to the People. We do this every week on Tuesdays, 8 p.m. EST, 5 p.m. Central. We make sure that we have our training session open in Tai Chi for anybody that's, whether you're a part of the Justice for Hire community or not, to learn Tai Chi. Justice for Hire, of course, is a show that we're producing with the community where anyone can join the cast and build a cinematic universe with us on our app, justiceforhire.app. So you can join right now. And of course, every week we are dedicating our training to a different charity. So this week we are doing No Kid Hungry, and that's at No Kid Hungry. No Kids Hungry, and you can find them right on Instagram. You can donate right to them directly, or go to nokidshungry.org and you can donate directly there. So that being said, today we are going to work on some subtle Tai Chi concepts. We're going to do just some movements to, and if you follow my Tai Chi channel, which is Coach Jan's Tai Chi, and I coach the U.S. Tai Chi push hands team. I was also named the captain for the 2009 to 2011 seasons. And it's a sport, it's like wrestling, and it's very much based on sensitivity practices that you get really good at, and then you can become very explosive while maintaining sensitivity. Super important, amazing stuff. My favorite sport. So it helps me play all other sports, actually. So what I want to share today is some Qigong and Neigong exercises, as well as some concepts, fighting concepts to, and I'm going to make sure that there's no crazy sounds. So some fighting concepts that'll help you in martial arts, and especially given that Justice for Hire is about heroes and about being a hero in your own life, being able to train and move your body in ways that allow you a sense of control and mastery over your environment are very important. So without further ado, we're going to do some of those exercises right now. If you have any injuries, feel free to make adjustments to suit your injuries. In other words, if you have to sit down and train, that's totally fine. There are many, many different ways to train, even boxing, sitting down, Tai Chi push hands, etc. If you need to sit, this is, I think, just an important note, because even if you don't have an injury, it's important to train being able to throw a punch sitting down, being able to find the infrastructure to maintain the shape of the punch sitting down. So you know what, today, moment of inspiration, we're going to start by sitting down. So seated martial arts exercises are massively important. I love action scenes where I watch someone take somebody out from a seat and then maybe even stand up into the action. I think that's a really, really interesting position, because a lot of times you see people standing up fighting, they're grappling, or they're falling to the ground. But what happens when you're just seated? One of the most amazing experiences I've had is playing with my yoga teacher, where he'll stick out his hand, and it's very difficult to move his arm down because he's created an infrastructure internally. He's aligned his muscles and his bones and his thoughts, his thought power, his willpower, to make it very, very challenging to move him. So we do that in Tai Chi as well. It's called rooting. And I know how to teach it in Tai Chi exercises, standing up. I find it a little more challenging sitting down. But what I do know how to showcase sitting down are punches. So punches still have a similar concept of infrastructure. I'm going to turn my body to the side just so you can see. I'll move the camera a little bit farther back. As you can see, my butt, when you sit down, your back oftentimes rolls. I'll turn the chair so you can see this as well. When people sit down, they often slouch. My upper back is slouched on this curve right here. You can see it right there. And then my lower back is curved right here. I'll pull my shirt in a little bit so you can see. So when you sit down and do Qigong exercises, Neigong exercises, or even punch, one of the first things you want to do is push the sit bones, the bones that you can feel on your butt, either side, pushing into the chair. You push them into the ground, into the chair. This is the equivalent if you were standing up, and if you trained with me before, you remember this. When we stand up, we drop the tailbone down. We soften the lower back to remove any unnecessary tension. We soften the knees and put the weight on the heels. This helps us really sink into our heels as the anchor for our posture, and then moving from the heels into the ball of the foot and the big toe, intentionally creating 3 nails of infrastructure on the legs. A similar mechanic, but for the seating, is pushing the sit bones down. You push them straight down, meaning that if you're curved in, you straighten. Notice that my hands are representing my sit bones pointing straight down. If you feel on the lower back, you should feel that the curve is now gone in the spine. So if you'd like, you can bring your back, your sit bones pointing down against the back of the chair, so that if you were to lean back, you'd be leaning back in somewhat of a straight posture. But you don't want to have unnecessary tension in the chest, meaning that you don't want inflation in the chest, or to stick out the chest so that the upper back coils or bends in the opposite direction. So what we'll do here, once you have the sit bones, is you have this imaginary string lifting from the top down. We're going over a lot of body structure here, because that's really the thing that's going to make a lot of difference when you slow yourself down to speed up your perception. There are plenty of guys that I know that are really, really strong. They can throw a nice punch with just arm strength, and they can do it sitting down or standing up. That's not really what we're working on here. We're working on the infrastructure that gives you strength. And if you're, let's say, not as strong as a very muscular person, and if you are very, very muscular, it'll give you even more strength because you'll be optimizing your strength. So sit bones down, imaginary string lifts you up. Once you feel that lift, all the vertebrae should feel like they're falling down into the chair, meaning that you're being lifted up and there's a cascading feeling going all the way down into the chair. Okay, now that we have that posture, let's focus on our breath for a second. We're going to inhale into the belly. My feet are placed flat on the floor. We're inhaling using the belly, focusing on the point just below the belly button, about 3 finger lengths or 2 inches below, called the lower dantian. We always talk about this in yoga. It's known as the second chakra. Kung Fu has 3 dantians, which are 3 of the 7 chakras that they focus on: the lower dantian, the middle dantian, the upper dantian. So inhale into using the base diaphragm, the belly. Inflate, exhaling through the nose. Inhaling to the belly. Exhaling through the nose. And as you inhale, I want you to give the sensation of breathing a color, whatever intuitively comes to you. Exhale now, shift the attention and direct that color through the palms and fingertips. My hands are rested naturally on my knees, behind your thighs or your knees. Feel the heat in your hand intensify. Feel the circulation intensify. This may take time. For example, it may take a very long time. My father has only a few times in his life felt the heat in his hands, and he is a Tai Chi world champion. Okay, Tai Chi grappling world champion, like multiple times. He's got like 4. I'm a 3-time world champion. He's 4. So he's got titles, and he's got a bunch of other international titles as well. But he's only felt it a few times. So this may take time. I feel it immediately when I'm training properly, and I train properly these days. You're using the breath visualization as a vehicle for the attention. Inhale to the belly. Exhale, wash it down the arms, the palms, and fingertips. And now we're going to start with reverse breathing Tai Chi mechanics. This is from Grandmaster William C.C. Chen. I've adapted it to the chair. I very much like it, and it works. I do drills with this all as well. Have people hold pads and bang, bang. So here we go. You're going to inhale, and it's going to be as if you're pouring tea. You're going to use the index and middle fingers and the thumb to be your spinning finger. Almost think of it like a gun. These fingers are going to drive all the action. There are times where we'll talk about the pinky, but this will not be that time. So we're going to inhale up as if you're pour on the serving tea, and then at the end, drilling and pouring it. Notice that as you pour, there's a slight inflation in the tricep. So we're going to give that even more emphasis through the color breath visualization. We're going to inhale, drawing the color like a vacuum through these fingers. And yes, they might be in this hollow fist position, meaning that you're not going to necessarily have your fingers reaching forward, but the concept of the reach will still happen from the fingers and specifically through these two knuckles, the index and middle finger knuckles. So it's as if the breath is pulling in through these knuckles and spiraling into the fingertips as you inhale. The color comes in through the arm. It inflates the tricep like a balloon and goes into the belly. When you do this, feel the sit bones in the chair. Another important note with the sit bones is that the sit bones help to establish the root through the chair. When normally you'd be standing up and your root would be through your legs, this time it's through the chair. The legs are helpful with counterbalancing and working on your posture. But more than anything else, you're going to use that sit bone sensation in the chair. We've also talked about in the past the concept of the hips feeling like a bowl of water, because you don't want to spill in either direction. So once you find the posture, you imagine the bowl of water. Once you remove the curve from the spine, you imagine the bowl of water, and that is your part of your sense of equilibrium that helps to establish your center. And you use the concept of your center line as another, like almost like an X and Y axis. X, Y, Z. So you have forward and back, you have left and right, up and down. And of course, all the other directions, the infinite directions. Inhaling up, exhaling down. And if you were listening to me that entire time, holding the posture, good, because that's exactly what you should do. If someone's talking and you're training, you hold the posture. That's the old school Shaolin mentality, and I'm very much a proponent of it. Inhale on the other hand. Inhaling up. Again, think about holding a pot of tea. You're about to pour the pot, and then you pour it, inhaling even deeper through the tricep, letting the color wash into the belly. Exhaling, deflate and bring it down. From the side, inhaling up, exhaling down. Inhaling up, exhaling down. Now, it's very important, we're going to do more of these. Very important to recognize that we're not throwing the body. We're not throwing the body. We're doing something different. And it is this difference in body mechanic that is going to get you a unique result. It's a unique body mechanic, gets you a unique result. You're aligning the muscles and softening. The posture's aligned. Whatever comes out of aligned posture should also feel aligned, be aligned, and you'll know if this is aligned when you hit something. If you find yourself throwing and it's hard, you feel like you have to push through, that's not what you want. That's you having to really, really push for the posture. The posture should already be there before you make contact with the object. So it's very different than the idea of, let's say, throwing a jab and spinning that front leg, which some people do, and they spin the front arm too. It's very, very different. While that could be a stinging jab, in my experience, the hardest jabs I can throw come from this body mechanic, even standing. I'll be standing up, I'll step back just for a moment just to show the concept, and I have other videos on this as well. Inhaling up, exhaling down. Notice all the work that's happening here. I might be standing, sparring, boom, I have my hands up, but I inhale and I have this slight pressure on the foot I inflate, I'm pouring the tea, and I have this posture. So this posture here, bring it back to a chair, and this posture here are related because of the concept of structure. So when you create any of these shapes, and this is one of the secrets of these shapes, when you create any of these shapes, the concept is that you are growing, the body is inflating into the position, a preset position that you know is the full expression of the shape that you want. So in other words, it's different than throwing a punch out. I'm throwing a punch out, and maybe I'm conscious enough to make sure I don't hyperextend my elbow, meaning that I'm not pushing it so hard that my arm straightens. Oftentimes when you have traditional punching in martial arts, and this is across systems, you'll hear, don't extend the arm too much because you'll hyperextend it. I hyperextended my arm when I used to fight. So that sucks, it's a horrible feeling. But if you have this infrastructure, you know, I'm not going to extend beyond here, but I'm going to make up for what I might miss in terms of, let's say, a few inches of my jab with power. And the power is knowing that my structure, boom, I know the structure that I want, the optimized structure for jab, for me, might be 2-3 inches shorter than my full arm extension, but it'll hit that much harder. The full arm extension for me may not hit as hard as, boom, this structure right here, because I'm getting more centrifugal force out of my strike. So I might throw and twist right here, twist the hip, twist the arm, sure, twist the ball of my foot. But here, just feel all the spinning that's happening, that you're being conscious of. Now, the thing about being conscious of the spinning is that once you're conscious of these new layers of centrifugal force, of spinning, you can take advantage of them. It's the consciousness that allows you to take active control in utilizing a thing toward your advantage. If you are not conscious of something, you may not necessarily be able to strategically utilize it. So we're talking about strategy here, even the strategy in a body mechanic. So I'm inhaling up. I know the shape that I want, and I spin into that shape. When I finish that shape, I'm standing up just to give you a sense of the structure here that I choose. I have my knuckles, of course, aligned with my elbow. And I have this angle, which could seem odd. It could seem like a long hook coming boom, 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 around. And I do throw these as long hooks. I do throw these long hooks as well, but you can also throw them straight out. Inhaling up to plate, exhaling down. To plate, exhaling down. In plate, exhaling down. But I do want to differentiate between this punch, the seated punch, we just did a seated punch, and the Tai Chi reverse breathing hook. The Tai Chi reverse breathing hook, as Grandmaster William Shen showed me, I've always been very, very impressed with it because of how it changes my levels. And I think that's really, really interesting. Of course, very, very important for boxing. So let's do that. So, Tai Chi reverse breathing hook. We have our first two punches, meaning our jab cross, inhaling up, straight punches. And these straight punches, we're doing reverse breathing style. So, inhaling up, exhaling down. With the reverse breathing, you soften into the groin, and then you inhale, expand out of the groin. So there's a slight bounce. Look at this slight bounce. I'm going down and up to create my shape. So that's 1, 2. And now on the hook, exhaling down. So I'm going to do my lead hand hook, my left hand, and I'm dropping my level. So going to sleep. Inhaling up. So I go to sleep, exhaling, exhaling, exhaling. Inhale up. I'm pouring the tea right across the chest. My hands right in front of my heart. Now, I'll say that Grandmaster Chen is the first person I saw throwing a hook like this besides me, because I have scar tissue from birth on both of my wrists. I can't really turn my hand to ever do what oftentimes people would call a traditional hook, meaning that the palm is facing your heart and chest. And my dear friend Brendan Weaver, who's a UFC fighter, Bellator, etc., also talked about doing this as well, keeping the hand either way. You could keep the palm in front of your chest or keep it out. I thought that was really interesting that he said that as well, which is cool. But for the most part, I was scolded for not being able to do the hooks properly. So William C.C. Chen showed me that there was no proper when it came to these hooks. So exhaling down, collapsing into the groin, meaning my back hip softens, melts into my front leg's groin. And inhale across. I inflate the tricep and I allow the shape, the breath pulls the shape across. It's as if the tips of the knuckles are being pulled to the positions I know I wanted it. Boom. This is where I want my hook. And maybe if I want to be super precise about my nose alignment, my nose is still forward, but my elbow's in front of my nose, if I really want that. But I just normally go right here. Exhaling down. Now, I will say that I'll take from here, I'll often throw a regular hook right after my reverse breathing lead. So I'll drop down, inhale, come up, exhale, drop down on the next hook, meaning that I'm boom. So you go inhale up, exhale down. That's my personal style, personal taste. You could easily go inhaling up, exhale down, load again, inhale up, exhale down, load again, inhale up, exhale down, inhale up, exhale down. I'll show you from the side as well. And so you can see my feet as well. So check this out. All right. Inhale down, exhale down, I'm loaded. Most of my weight's on the heel of my front foot, and then it transfers the ball to a big toe, inhaling up, my posture comes upright, exhaling down, cover my face, inhaling up, exhaling down, inhaling up, exhaling down, inhaling up, pouring the tea, exhaling down, inhaling up, pouring the tea, exhaling down. Now let's do it with the reverse breathing and regular breathing. Again, reverse breathing hook, inhaling up, exhaling down. So I come down with the next hook. And of course, your target will not move down, so you want to make sure that you're aiming your punch to a particular target. So that target stays where the hand actually goes on target. So inhaling up, exhaling down. So I've dropped my level while I'm throwing the hook. Inhaling up, exhaling down. Inhaling up, exhaling down. Inhaling up, expanding out of the hip area, exhaling down, down, and I'm collapsing in. I'm actually doing two things at once here, which I think is very, very important to recognize that you're doing the softening into the groin that we often talk about on my channels, boom, in my teaching, and in Grandmaster Chen, when also US Tai Chi push hands teaching, push hands team. This little coil into the groin, whether you spin the back heel out or you leave the back heel down to anchor, is super important. So inhaling up, exhale down, I'm doing it here. If you don't do the reverse breathing punches on both sides at first, I recommend starting like this. It may be more difficult to feel the combination of the reverse breathing and regular breathing. Reverse breathing, regular breathing, reverse breathing, regular breathing. That really makes it way more dynamic because you're not thinking about exhalations on every strike. If you only think in exhalations on every strike, it's going to be more challenging to get those strikes out because you have to gather the breath to put a strike out. A lot of martial arts will say, okay, exhaling here, or exhaling here, sinking and punching. That's great. It's really, really important, especially for the projection of the thought beyond the fist, the visualization beyond the fist. But inflation, equally important in my experience. Inhaling up, exhaling inside. Inhale up, exhale down. Now, you'll notice that I'm not spinning my front foot. That's a choice. Oftentimes you get martial artists, boxers, who talk about the importance of pivoting on the front leg, and you spin it and you throw. I turn the camera up so you can see chest throwing across, chest throwing across, chest throwing across, hand and chest. And if you talked about the concept of boxing and being inside or walking inside the box, that was a concept that my first boxing teacher, police officer who trained boxing, a lot of police officers in boxing in New York, would talk about walking inside the box, as if you're stepping to keep your stance proper. You have each corner of the foot. If you have a box, my left foot is on the upper left-hand corner. My right foot is on the back right-hand corner. My hands are up. I drove that first punch, and it's so hard that I swing and I step to the right corner. I swing again, I step to the left corner. I swing, the box is moving as I swing. That's a different concept. It's an important concept. All these concepts are important. My intention with sharing this stuff is not to take away from any of the other mechanics, but to showcase that there are many different ways to achieve a goal, and that learning other ways, like this reverse breathing mechanic, can benefit the other ways that you might be aware of. So this unique way, inhaling up, boom, exhaling down, I find very beneficial. Boom, standing my ground, throwing hard hooks, standing my ground, drop my level, do a hit, and then maybe boom, come again with another heavier hook and step inside the box. So I might double up on my exhalation. Inhale, exhale, drop, exhale, step. And that's a two-stage exhalation, which we talk about all the time. Here they go. Two-stage exhalations. For example, inhaling up, stage 1. Inhaling even deeper, stage 2. Exhaling down, stage 1. Exhaling out, stage 2. Inhaling up, stage 1. Inhaling up, stage 2. Even deeper. Exhale, pushing the color to the belly, stage 1. Exhaling out, stage 2. This is Jade Rabbit watching the moon. Inhaling 1. 2. Exhaling down, 1. Do 3 more. Inhaling out, 1. Take it deep, 2. Exhaling down, 1. Exhaling out, 2. 1. Even deeper, 2. Exhaling down, 1. Inhale out, 1. 2. Exhaling down. Exhale. And of course, the intention is very, very important here. You gather the breath in the belly, and you visualize it. See it as a color. Slight tension in the anus, tongue on the ceiling of the mouth, all breath in and out to the nose. As you see that color here, you exhale, you compress that color, visualizing it and using the hands to augment the visualization of compressing the color in the belly. It stays right here. It's just gotten more dense. And then you flatten the color and make room for more. You inhale, draw more color to the belly. Inhale even deeper, it's flooding the belly, filling out the whole thing. And then condense it into a stronger, more dense ball of light. And then you flatten it. The visualization is very, very important because what you visualize affects you. It affects your whole life. So do your best to visualize in your body, and you'll see the results for yourself. You have to be the scientist of your own life. If you don't do this, there's a lot of people who are like, oh, I don't believe in chi, I don't believe in all this other stuff. That's fine. But if you don't actually do the work, that's like saying there's no pearls in the ocean. You haven't, you're not diving into the ocean to go look for pearls. So make sure that you actually put the work in. Visualization is just like weightlifting. It is the same exact thing as weightlifting. You have to keep doing it to see your gains, to see the results. So you got to do it. Just got to do it. And you will see over time, you might be like my father, where you may not feel the heat in your palm increase. You might feel other things in your body, but you may not feel the heat in your palm. Grandmaster William Chen's reverse breathing form, the circulation, whether you want to call it chi or not, the circulation moves totally differently in that form than any other form I've done. The other forms I've done don't necessarily have the same type of focus that, let's say, the Wu style form has. The traditional Wu style form is great. Wu style form is fantastic. Laser focus techniques, very sharp angles. William Shen, lots of inflating and creating holes that opponents fall through. Very particular. I just responded to a comment on YouTube on this exact subject. So let's get back to the boxing. Right here, standing, 1 foot forward, and we're going to go. Actually, let's go right to the chair and we're going to review. So first and foremost, inhaling up, pour, exhaling down. Remember, if you sat down in a chair, you have to adjust the posture first. Push the sit bones into the ground. Imaginary stringless you from the top of the head. Inhaling up 1, even deeper 2 if you want, and exhaling down. Drawing the breath in like a vacuum into the belly. Spin it. Exhaling down. Really feel that softening and the opening in the shoulder. In the shoulder blade especially. The shoulder blades should disappear into the upper back for the jab. If you're doing you could just do this, that's fine. But I recommend getting that little extra reach here as part of your willpowered statuesque structure. Inhaling up, slow down. Excellent. Inhaling up, even deeper. Excellent. Not only will you get extra few centimeters, maybe an inch of extra arm distance, arm length, but you'll also get stronger circulation to the palms and fingertips. It's called opening the valves or closing the valves in Tai Chi, and it's done often. Every style has it. Every style, I think their way is the only way. Many different ways to open the valve. You can also do this with your hands up. Inhaling up, exhaling down. Notice how soft my shoulders become. And notice that my elbows are not flat down. So I have a little wing beneath the wings here. If I get hit, I got a little cushion, a little air cushion that comes into the body rather than taking it all on the body. So you always drop. Up. My fingers are touching the forehead, the line of my forehead. Exhaling down. Inhaling out. Exhaling down. Exhaling down. Notice that I just soften my shoulder too, to remove any unnecessary tension. That's not to say that I don't do bare knuckle sparring and sometimes lift my shoulders to protect my face, because that is a smart thing to do. That's saying that I keep my shoulders as soft as possible and only tense them when necessary. And if you are, some teachers talk about the chi gathering in the shoulders. Again, whether or not you quote unquote believe in chi really doesn't matter, as long as you understand that tensing the shoulders or any unnecessary tension causes blockages, may not allow you to move as flexible as you would like. So any unnecessary tension should be washed away. Now, let's take this to standing. My hands stay up. Oh, out of the way. And up. Inhaling up. Exhaling down. Inhaling up. Exhaling down. Inhaling up. Exhaling down. Inhaling up. Look at my back foot spin. Exhaling down. I feel the alignment, imaginary strength, still lifting me from the top of the head. Inhaling up. Exhaling down. Inhaling up. Exhaling down. If I wanted to, I could go reverse breathing and then traditional, exhaling down and out, and really push, inhaling up. That's totally viable strategy. Exhaling down, inhaling up, exhaling down. Go on. Notice that those are slight level change. Inhaling up, exhaling down, inhaling up. With the standard breathing normally has a more downward energy rather than a bounce. It is a downward forward energy rather than a downward inhale up energy. That the reverse breathing is a tenet of the reverse breathing. So reverse breathing cross, reverse breathing jab, standard breathing cross. Some people may just do this as a standard breathing cross. It's totally fine. They don't get necessarily the same sync. Go, inhale out. Inhaling up, exhaling down. All right, now let's go right to the hooks. Let's do only reverse breathing. Inhaling up. My front foot stays stationary. Again, inhaling up. Exhaling down. Inhaling up. Exhaling down. A little closer so you can see my body. Inhaling up. Exhaling down. Inhaling up. And you want to feel great about your ending position. Can't talk about this enough. Inhaling up, you should feel like a statue. I use the term statuesque because it actually means you should feel like a great sculpture. You should feel really strong and with your ending posture. And you should practice this ending posture on a heavy bag, on a tree, on pads, and in sparring. You should practice this, of course, in that order. You don't want to just go and start sparring with this. You haven't solidified your willpower to that end point. It's very important. That's part of the pre-visualization. You do that enough, you can call it to mind. Your body knows what to do to achieve this structure. One of the great things William Chen does is he'll grab a banana and he'll show an exercise where he's punching a wall super fast with Bruce Lee's 1-inch punch. Boom, and the banana stays completely intact because he's not squeezing his hands to get the full power of impact. It's really just the breath and being pulled to the destination that he knows that he is ready to achieve, has trained to achieve. So you go to that destination. That's not to say that you can't do this with standard breathing. I'm only saying that in my experience, I find this method to be that much more, to lend itself that much more to creating a clearly defined end posture. That's not, again, I have done, and I do know other forms of throwing punches and kicks, etc. But this one, for some reason, for me, is very helpful at defining my end point. Now let's do hooks with reverse breathing and normal breathing. Inhaling up on the lead hand, exhale down. Inhale up, exhale down. Inhale up, exhale, softening into the lead groin, ball of foot, big toe, heel, ball of foot, big toe. Inhale up, exhale, spiraling down. You might find a little bit, because you're spinning in, think about this for a second. If you're throwing this right hook, think about the trajectory. Just look at your finger. If you spin that finger continuously and you're going down, you're actually spiraling yourself into your own stance. Very, very important note, because that's how it should feel in the heel, in the leg, in the groin, that you're spiraling yourself back into the leg. So you're back in, your stance is stronger. And then when you feel a little bit more pressure on the heel than on the ball for the big toe, that's when you unleash, bringing forward from the heel to the ball foot and big toe, the upward reverse breathing hook. Exhaling down, it spirals from the big toe, ball of foot, heel, in. And that's very, very subtle. That's very subtle. So you don't necessarily need to focus too much on inhaling up, but it is something to think about. But I'd say before that, really focus on softening this back hip and the back knee, dropping it down, back hip and knee melting into the groin. Inhale up. Start speeding it up. Jab, cross. Do reverse breathing and normal. Reverse, normal, reverse, normal. Hooks. And relax. Inhaling out. 2 uplifting heavens. Big breath in. Stretching out out of the shoulders onto the toes. Exhaling down. Inhaling up. Even deeper. Exhaling down. Inhale, white line to the belly. Exhale, wash down. Inhale, turn to your right side. Exhale. Inhale, turn to the left side. Exhale down. Inhale up over the head. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. And sit for a moment and just massage the hands. After you're training any Tai Chi, you want to really massage the hands. So let's just roll the shoulders back for a second. And then reverse it. Neck. And reverse it. You can inhale and exhale. If you really want to coordinate the breath with everything, inhale up, exhale down. Inhale up, exhale down. And now flick the fingers out. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Let's just take a moment for the hormones. Hook, thumb. 1, 2, 3. Switch. 2, 3. Ears. 2, 3. Up, over, down, under. For the immune system. Up in the face to the side. Up to the side. Up to the side. Fingers to the back. And forward. Fingers to the back. Forward. Back. And forward. And grab the scalp, knead it like that. 1, 2, 3. Next patch. 2, 3. Next patch. 3. Next patch. And reverse it. 1, 2, 3. 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And slapping front to back to front. Hollow fist front to back to front. And 4 fingers to the top of the forehead. 1, 2, 3, 4. Reverse it. 2, 3, 4. Temples. 1, 2, 3, 4. Other direction. 1, 2, 3, 4. Under the eyes. 1, 2, 3, 4. Reverse it. 3, 4. Nails in the groove between the eyeball and the bone. Tap around. 1, 2. Next one. 3. Eyes. No finger. Eyebrows. And under the eye. Side of the nose. For the heart. Switch. Above and below. Switch. Side. Side. Tongue. And reverse it. Flick the fingers out again. Thumb. Then press and hold. And drill. 1, 2, 3. Other direction. 1, 2, 3. Tap around. 1, 2, 3. Each circle getting bigger. Top and bottom of the thumb. And then sides. Top and bottom. And sides. Top and bottom. And sides. Top and bottom. And sides. Top and bottom. Sides. Press and hold. In the groove between the thumb and the index finger, right here on this pressure point. If you only feel skin, you're not on the pressure point. You feel the meat a bit, and then press and hold on the meat. Feel the pressure point. It might hurt a little bit, it's okay. And then massage. 1, 2, 3. Definitely want to see it. Feel it. Take the thumb and drive that thumb up the natural line. This natural line. Boom. Notice how it rides over. Kind of flicks a bit, goes up, up, up to here. Right around here. So let's drive it up. Boom, natural line, cutting my thumb right into the forearm, and I slide it right up to another pressure point. You'll find it just before the elbow joint. And then thumb on the pocket of the elbow, fingers just above the elbow joint, right? If you flex your forearm, you notice that the muscle creates a ridge. You're going to be on the outside, bottom part of that ridge. Top part meaning that it's closer to you, bottom's underneath, and massage. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Drive the thumb down the next line, subtle line, all the way down to just above the pulse. And switch and hold, press and hold. And drill. 1, 2, 4, 5. Tap around. 1, 2, 3. Top and bottom, thumb and sides. Top and bottom 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 and sides. The little eyelash line between the index and thumb. Press and hold on the meat, find the pressure point, and massage. 1, 2, 3. Then drive up. All the way up and massage. 3, 4, 5. The inside, thumb in the pocket of the elbow. 2 fingers on the outside under the ridge. You can flex the forearm if you want to find the ridge, and then soften it, and then grab. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and drive down and massage around. 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3, and grab. 1, 2, 3. Close the eyes. Inhale, white light. This is called middle pillar breathing. Visualize the white light gathering in the belly. And exhale. Spread the whole body like a radar, flooding the body, every cell, every bone, every organ, the skin, the hair, the nails. Inhale, roll the white light up as you inhale from the toes to the top of the head, the front of the body, like a tidal wave. Exhale, roll it down, head to heels, like a waterfall. Inhale the left side, foot to head. Exhale down the right side, head to foot. Down this side. Inhale, white line to the belly. Exhale, push it to the top of the head like a fountain. Let it go up, out in all directions, making a big bubble around you. White light. One more breath. White line to the belly. Exhale, push it down the legs, into the ground. To come back up and around like a fountain in reverse, making a bigger bubble of light around you. Just sit in this bubble of white light for a moment. Feel it inside you, around you. Have gratitude for it and for your body. Have gratitude for the space you're in, for the good people in your life. And may we all provide a great service to each other in this world. Thank you so much as usual. And this has been Justice for Hire's Tai Chi to the People. I'm Coach Jan, and you can always join Justice for Hire, the cinematic universe built with the crowd, a show being produced with the community from justiceforhire.app. You could be a hero, a client, or a villain and help us build the next generation of film and television. You can also, of course, donate to No Kids Hungry or at No Kids Hungry. Right on Instagram. It might be No Kid Hungry, might be No Kids Hungry. They're great either way. So Google them, donate if you like this class, and stay tuned for next week. We'll hope to see you there. Love you. I'm Jan. That was my mom.